Hello, Keith Rucker here, VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today we're back to working on the metal planer restoration, and the task for the day is I need to make a little gear. This is a gear that was broken when I got the machine, and it is going to be critical for us to get this back together. I've actually got 3 gears I've got to make for this machine that we had issues with. This is one of them. I'm going to shoot a video on this one. One of them I probably am not, and the other one's a bevel gear. That one's going to be a really complicated one. I'll definitely do a video on that one. But let me zoom in here, show you what we got, and show you the game plan on getting it fixed. So here's the gear in question, and you can see we've got 2 broken teeth on here. This, it's got a 7/8 inch bore, and it's got this little piece here. This is actually where you can pull it off. It just slides up onto a shaft. Actually, there's 2 different potential shafts that it could go onto. And this is where you can pull it off of one and just slide it onto another, depending on which one you need to be activating. So I have just done a little chicken scratch drawing here of the dimensions, and this will be what I use when I go over to the lathe to make the blank. This one is a 10 pitch, the diametral pitch is a 10, 19 teeth. I did the calculations, the outside diameter of that comes to 2.1 inches, which matches this perfectly. And but I wanted to verify that, make sure there wasn't any wear or anything on there. But right now we're going to head over to the lathe and we're going to machine a blank. And the material that we'll be using is some cast iron Durabar here. The original gear is made from cast iron, and I could have made a pattern, had that cast to do a blank, but I actually had some Durabar laying around the shop that was the right size for that, so that's what we'll be utilizing here to machine it. So over to the lathe, and let's get to work on this. Over on my 16-inch Monarch lathe, and I'm going to take our stock. This is a piece of 2 3/8 inch diameter Durabar. This is an extruded cast iron material. I'm going to put it in my chuck. Now my chuck's got a pretty good sized through hole in it. Unfortunately, this won't go through the through hole in the lathe. It's a little bit too big for that. But I think with the beefiness of this and the stick out, we're going to be fine right there to be able to make this part. And I'm just putting this in my 3-jaw chuck. We'll be doing all the turning pretty much in one operation. So even if we got a little bit of run out here, we'll be taking enough material off. What we turn will be true. So let me get a cutter over here in my lathe and we will start making some chips. All right, we're going to start by facing this off, get a good surface there, and then we'll turn back the largest diameter, which is 2.1 inches, and go back probably about 2 inches deep on that turn down. That'll give me a little bit extra room from what I need. So let's fire up the lathe. Got a little run out in there, but again, we're going to be turning it off. I'm not worried about that. That's not unusual in this extruded material. Okay. I'm going to measure in here 2 inches. Put me a mark. And let's just see if we can get that to clean up. I got about 1/4 inch to take off of this, so I'm gonna come in, we'll take a fairly heavy cut. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 4, 6. I'm gonna take a 200 thousandths total pass, 100 thou per side. And I'm getting a little noise on that, so let me back that off a little bit. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I think the problem here is that we just got too much stick out. I'm getting a little bit of flexure in there, so let me put a center in here and give me some support. I was thinking I wasn't gonna need to do that, but apparently I am. All right, let's go back and give this another try. I'm gonna go in there to that, roughly right there where we were at before, and just see if that doesn't work better. There we go. That's the way it's supposed to work. After that roughing pass, see where I'm at. Looks like I need to remove 10 thou, and I'll be right on the money for 2.1 inches. We've removed most of that material in this one pass there. All right, dialed in that 10 thou. Let's cut across there and clean that up, and we should be hopefully right on the money. Check that dimension, and we are indeed right on the money. That's perfect. So the diameter I just turned is the diameter of the gear. Next thing I'm going to do is turn the diameter, basically the outside diameter of this little thumb piece that you pull on, and that is 1.56 inches. And that's not a critical measurement on the diameter, but we'll nail it. See, I got a little bit extra length here. But we'll come in and go up to that shoulder, that's 700 thousandths to that shoulder. So what I'm going to do is take my Sharpie pen, and we'll just put me a little darkness on there, and I've got my caliper set to 700 thou. I just scribe a line right there, and that'll give me something to turn to. And we've got about a 1/2 inch to take off of this. I'll just do another 200 thousandths pat here. We'll go into that line and stop. Same thing, another 200 thou. We're at 675. I need to be at 560. So we got 115 thou to take off. Again, this measurement isn't critical, so if I'm off 10, even 20 thousandths, it's no big deal, but we should be right there on it. And I'm going to come in and just kind of face that shoulder back there. Let's see what we got. We are on 1.561, so I got within 1 thou of what I was after. I'm not going to worry about trying to take it down. It's just not worth it. Dug around over in my high-speed steel cutters, and I found this little bullnose cutter that is going to be really just perfect. It's already got a little radius in it that I can use to go in and kind of cut that little notch behind that front. So I think that's going to work out fine. We'll just kind of feed in there and hopefully plow all that out. So I do want to mark over here on this the front edge so I know how far to come up to. Let me again just take my Sharpie pen. I'll darken that up. The original's about 200 thousandths thick right there, so I can see what I need to do. And we'll just kind of come in here. I'll feed in. I'll probably just do this manually. And it looks like I have dulled my cutter. So let me go touch that up on the grinder and see what's going on. I may have it a little bit high. May need to drop it down just a touch. Just kind of coming in here and massaging that material out, going back and forth, just doing this by hand. Yeah, we're shooting for 1.2 inches. I got about 60 more thou to take out of there, so kind of watch this over on my dials. This should be to depth right here. I'm going to just carefully go back across that, slowly cut the bottom of that, smooth it out. Verify that, and we're right on the money. I need to establish my back shoulder here. That needs to be 900 thousandths wide. And I think what I'm going to do is just use the same cutter that I was using on the other side and just kind of hollow this out. As I started into this, I thought to myself, okay, dummy, instead of trying to hollow that thing out the hard way, we got to part this thing off. So we'll just part it off, turn it around, and then I can just come in there and do it a lot easier. So I think what I'm going to do now is just come in here. We're going to break the corners on this side, just kind of deburr things a little bit. Just a little bit there. I'm going to round these corners over, so I'm going to chamfer these a little bit heavier just to make that rounding over process a little bit easier. That's nice and smooth over. That's fine. Kind of gives it that similar appearance as that one there. I would come in here now and drill this out. All right, let's go to our larger 7/8 inch drill bit now. Got a parting tool in here. We're just going to go ahead and part this off. go. Got my part turned around backwards in here now, and we need to first off face this to length. So I've already just cleaned up a face on that side there, and we are at 1 inch 920 thou, well 915, we'll call it 915. I need to be at 850, so we've got 65 thou to cut off of there. And I've got a dial indicator set up down here, set to 0. So we just need to go around 65 thou on that, and we should be to length. So we'll do about 25 thou here. Go in and face that off. $50. And before I make that final cut, I want to just verify that we need 15 more. And it looks like we need about 12 more. So we'll just dial in 12 more. 1, 2, got right there. And one more pass through here. All right, I need to go in 250 thou for this step. I've re-zeroed my indicator down here. So we can come in now and just kind of touch off here. And I'm just going to feed in 250 thou. 100. I'm just doing this by hand. It's 250 or 250 right there. All right, that gives me something to work off of. And that diameter needs to come down to 1.5 inches. We are currently at just under 2 inches, so I got about a 1/2 inch to take off of there. All right, let's do this. About 90 thou to come off. And I'm going to go all the way into my 50 thousandths on the indicator. And now I'm going to feed out and face that back side of that cut all in one movement here. All right. Right on the money, and just chamfer those lightly, and I think we'll have this piece done. There we go. Well, as long as I'm making gear blanks, I've got another one here that also goes on the same machine. And this one's a lot simpler, just a disc basically. And this also cast iron. I've got another piece of Durabar here. This one needs to be 3.4 inches in diameter. I think we're at about almost 3.9 on this. I got about a half an inch, a little less than a half an inch I need to take off the diameter. The thickness is 0.885. So let's see if we can get this one knocked out real quick as well. Like before, I'll come in here and start off by facing this. Spot the center here. Just put a little dab there to get a drill bit started. Start with a 3/8 inch hole just to get me started. Slow the RPMs down for this larger diameter. Got a parting tool in here now, and I'm not going to be able to completely part this off, but I want to take it as deep as I can. And I'm just going to come with the bandsaw, my little handheld bandsaw, and we'll saw it the rest of the way off. Come in here now, and I'm just going to go right down through there. Got the part turned around backwards in here now, and we're just facing off that rough cut that I just made in there. And we will get this part to the correct thickness. And with that, I think we got our gear blanks made. These are ready to have the threads cut, but that'll be in another episode coming up. I think we are in good shape though to move forward. These ought to do just the trick. And with that, that's going to be a wrap on this episode. We've got our gear blanks cut. Next up, it'd be some gear cutting. And we will do that, like I said previously, in a separate upcoming episode. So with that, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thumbs up are appreciated, as are comments, and we will catch you on the next video.